welcome to Unews. Today is Friday, November 1st, and I'm Maity Interiano. We start today with a new wildfire threat in Southern California. The Maria fire exploding in size overnight, scoring 5,000 acres and forcing thousands of families to evacuate. Here's the latest. The Maria fire is just one of 14 active blazes that emergency crews around the state are battling. Red flag warnings remain in effect for parts of Southern California, but weather conditions are starting to improve in other parts of the state. Winds should be slower today, about 35 miles an hour instead of 70 miles per hour gusts from earlier the week. And in wildfires continue raging in one side of the country, rain and snow are threatening another. In parts of the Midwest, snow ruined many trick-or-treating plans, while in the east, wind was the real danger. Angie Sandoval has the details. Now to the presidency in peril. A vote on Thursday formalized the guidelines of how Democrats will carry the remainder of the impeachment inquiry process, but Republicans are now backing down, defending the president. In the meantime, President Trump is defiant, refusing to cooperate in the process. Lorraine Cáceres has the very latest.
234 Democrats voted against the resolution. Congressman Jeff Van Drew of New Jersey and Colin Peterson of Minnesota. Maity, back to you.
Thank you, Lorraine. Now to a closer look at what's become the heart of the impeachment inquiry, President Trump's call with Ukraine leader. Carolina Rosario explains the White House procedures in place for phone calls between the world leaders and why this particular call is so controversial. A federal judge ruled he will consider a lawsuit over a House subpoena of a White House official, but not until mid-December. That Trump is leaving the Big Apple for the Sunshine State. We're learning both Trump and First Lady have filed paperwork changing their official state of residency. Claudia Uceda has more from Washington, D.C.
Lady Melania Trump also changed her residency to Palm Beach in an identical court document. I am Claudia Uceda in Washington now. Back to you.
Thank you, Claudia. And there's much news on Maity Interiano. Democratic Congresswoman Katie Hill's last day in Congress is today. She announced plans to resign earlier this week after facing an ethics probe. She's also in the middle of a nasty divorce and accuses her soon-to-be ex-husband of working with right-wing media to publish intimate photographs of her. The Congresswoman gave her final speech on the House floor Thursday, lashing out at the right-wing media and President Trump. Here's Azul Alvarez. One of the Trump campaign's re-election strategies, trying to appeal to voters in the unusual places. For example, they're targeting Latino voters in states not typically known for having a big Hispanic population, places like Pennsylvania. Here's Blanca Rosa Vilches. Now to an urgent 911 call for help that never arrived. A Utah woman is suing, saying despite 4 calls to 911, a dispatcher never sent police while she and her sister were being brutally attacked in their home. Now they're blaming the emergency software system, Michelle Jurado reports. Unbelievable. Back to Unews. A South Carolina woman says she received a recruitment letter from a white supremacist group. She's reported it to the authorities and is encouraging others to do the same. Grecia Lasta explains. Penn State University is investigating a new allegation of abuse by convicted child molester and former assistant football coach Jerry Sandusky. Florida authorities have released a body camera footage from a man they say impersonated a police officer. The man behind the body camera footage, Jeremy DeWitt, appeared in court on Thursday. Jorge Hernandez has more details. DeWitt has been a registered sex offender since a 2005 conviction involving a victim between 12 and 15 years old. Investigators say that companies like his can lead funerals but not allowed to block intersections, pull people over, stop traffic, or carry weapons. Businesses in Virginia are puzzled by a man who keeps leaving a big mess in public bathrooms. What the bathroom bandit also leaves behind is unusual because it's a strange note. Police can't figure out why he's doing it, but Paola Byron has much more. And coming up next, today in health, are tattoos taboo? The new Pew Research Center reports nearly 40% of people between the ages of 18 and 29 have some kind of tattoo. But there are risks, and it may come down to the color of the ink. Nariti Morungi has the details. Now to consumer news, a couple is proving early retirement is actually possible, and they're not alone. More people are joining what's called the FIRE movement. Josie Garcia explains. Starting my plan today. Up next, today marks Dia de los Muertos, or Day of the Dead. On this Mexican holiday, family and friends gather to pray and honor those who have left us. But it's not necessarily a somber occasion. Aranza Loizaga joins me from San Antonio, Texas, where folks are preparing to celebrate. Aranza?
Hi, Maity. Well, showcasing its rich heritage culture, San Antonio will be celebrating today, November 1st, and tomorrow, November 2nd, the Day of the Dead, or El Día de los Muertos, which is a traditional festivity in Mexico City and other parts of Latin America, where families come together to celebrate their departed. But there are traditional symbols part of this fantastic celebration. For instance, this altar right here. And you have to put the picture of the person who passed away. In this case, was former mayor of the city of San Antonio, Lila Cockrell. Of course, you know, the day when she was born and the year when she passed away. You have to put also flowers. That flower, the marigolds, La Flor de Cempasúchil, is typical from this traditional celebration, as well as candles, for instance, saints as well. You will see the sweet bread, or el pan de muerto, which is traditional of El Día de los Muertos, which resembles the body of the person who passed away. And of course, you probably know this one's from the movie Coco, right? They're called in Spanish alebrijes. They're made with paper mache, and these are mystical creatures. You know, they're just, they help the soul come to the world of the living to, you know, visit their family members. But also, San Antonio will have a bunch of different unique events, about 20 of them, making the city of San Antonio the place to come and celebrate El Día de los Muertos. Art like this, for instance, a humongous skull made with chaquiras, little bitty beads from Arte Huichol, indigenous. So if you want to celebrate the Day of the Dead, San Antonio might become the place to do it, because what they want to do with this whole weekend of the Day of the Dead celebration is to make it as, for instance, you know, Mardi Gras for New Orleans, the Day of the Dead in San Antonio, Texas. Back to you.
Oh my God, that's incredible. Thank you so much, Aranza, for taking us to San Antonio, and hopefully we'll make it out there next year. But puppeteers are pulling strings at a bicentennial festival in Mexico happening this weekend. But that's all the time we have for today. I'm Maity Interiano. I wish you a great weekend, and we'll see you back here on Monday with much more news. And remember that we have our new podcast, and you can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Univision News. Until the next time, have a great weekend.